as you guys are coming on, obviously you guys are already on, but as you guys are coming on, please feel free to mute yourself. I'm going to do my best to try to mute people as they come on, but it's always just helps when you mute yourself on the way in. All right, I am Keyshawn Graves, philanthropist, entrepreneur. I'm also the coach business development mentor for the Southeast region. It's so good to be here with you guys tonight, Monday, July 31st. This is kind of an impromptu call, but when Pete says he wants to talk about duplication, we gather. And I think that it's just perfect that we're doing it tonight on the last day of the month, going into August, what could potentially be your best month ever, right? That's the goal every month. So August, let's just go ahead and say, will be your best month ever. So I think it's perfect that we're aligning this message on duplication right before what will be the best month of your business. Before we start, a couple things. We have a lot going on. And this is not to chase after shiny objects, but if these things align with your goals and with what you're trying to accomplish, go after them. Don't leave money on the table. Don't leave opportunity on the table. So my biggest passion right now, the thing that I'm a huge proponent of right now, is the fact that it's July 31st. It's July 31st, and that means that there's still plenty of time left for you to get whatever it is done that you were trying to accomplish this month. This month is not over. There's still plenty of time. I've seen amazing, incredible, crazy things happen when people have that paradigm switch and decide to turn it on, turn up the intensity, and run through their finish line that ends on August 1st. So I challenge you guys to run through the end of this month. If there are goals that you have left to accomplish, this call is being recorded. Go get to work. You can listen to this on the back end. I would rather you guys go work and go do than be here listening. The goal is to go implement what we learn, not to continue to listen to all these. No. We got to work. We got things to do. It's go time, not necessarily learn time. Okay, so that's something that I'm a big proponent of. But it goes also with a couple of these things that we have in mind. Another big thing is the diamond bonus promotion. Y'all, this is the first time. I've been really encouraging people, if you want this to stay around, to get behind this, to get your team behind this, to earn this diamond bonus promotion. Meet yourself, guys, if you don't mind, when you're coming in. The reason why I wanted to make sure I say it now, even though we haven't said, I'm trying to figure out who's calling you. I can't even find you. Lord have mercy. Okay, well, it's super annoying on my end. I hope that you guys can hear me through that. The reason why I'm mentioning this diamond bonus promotion right now, even though we have all the way until August 23rd.
And you can try it. It feels great. See what kind of benefits you get. Love it. Great. Jump in and let's.
Can't hear you anymore, Keyshawn.
I'm trying to figure out because somebody is literally talking.
Because I just never felt so great.
I'm about to mute everybody really quick. Hold on.
Share that with you. One really super one that's.
Okay. I'm gonna unmute Pete. Okay. Whoo! I'm sorry. That was annoying. I couldn't even go through that one. Okay. So the reason why I wanted to make sure I mentioned the diamond bonus promotion today, July 31st, even though we have all the way until August 23rd to begin that 6 weeks hold, is because you have until August 23rd to begin that 6 weeks hold. That's a long time to get into diamonds in order to hold this. But you need to earn Success Club. You need to help 3 people this month, July, in order to make sure that you qualify for that. So I've been saying, don't get to diamond, don't hold diamond, don't get there August 23rd and didn't hit Success Club in July. That's leaving money on the table. Okay, a question I've been getting about that is, Keyshawn, I'm a lifetime 1-star diamond. I fell down to emerald. Does that mean I have to get to 1 star again and hold 1 star for 6 weeks? No. That means you need to get to diamond and hold diamond for 6 weeks. So I wanted to make sure I made that very clear. If you have an opportunity to earn that, go earn that. I know that me growing up, my mother was a single parent, $250, $500 would have literally changed her life around, especially around the holiday time. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that diamond bonus promotion. Hit Success Club tonight, but you have all the way until August 23rd. That is really, I'm just going down my list of everything we have going on. Those are really the 2 biggest time sensitive things. I will also be posting everything else that we have going on. For Team Cup Month, guys, I am going to do a black Team Cup. So BLACC, Black Team Cup. So what we're going to do starting next Friday, every Friday of the month, I'm actually going to start the Google Doc today so you can put your team names. Every Friday, we're going to announce who's in the running. So what does this mean? This means that you guys are going to have to, by Friday, and I'll give a certain time, I'll give some better parameters, but by Friday, you'll need to submit your team points. But on that following Monday, I'll recognize who is leading in the Black community. So we'll be competing with the rest, and we're going to be competing with the rest, but we're also going to have our own. We're going to be giving out weekly prizes within our page. All right, so that's enough for me. Woo, that was a lot. Sorry, don't want to eat up too much. I'm going to pass over this floor to a guy that I personally I admire him. I'm very inspired by him. Got the pleasure of meeting him before I was actually in this role when I was in coach relations. Met him and his wife, Sue, backstage at Summit when they were about to go on as members of the Million Club. I was holding the purse, making sure that they were taken care of, and Sue and I just connected, and since then they've become family friends, very good friends with my mother, and he is just somebody that when he speaks, we listen. Why? Because not only does he know, but he proves that he knows the way. He is Beachbody's very first top coach. He is a member of the Million Club. He is a superstar diamond. He has duplicated himself. He's built several superstar diamonds, several star diamonds, several elite premier coaches, several top 20, top 10 coaches, and he wants to speak tonight in regards to duplication. So without further ado, this call is being recorded. I'm going to pass the floor over to Mr. Pete Pena.
Thanks, Keyshawn. Appreciate it. Can everybody hear me? Perfect. When I got involved with this business, there's two things why you want to get involved. Number one is helping other people, and number two is to make money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the foundations of building a simple business and how to duplicate. And I'm going to give you some tips of why I believe that you can grow a massive organization by doing simple things to grow your business. So what I'm going to do is I have some PowerPoints that I put together, and what I want to do is I'm going to be going through them so you can follow along. I'm not going to put them on screen, but I'm going to go through them and I'm going to highlight some of them. First of all, what I focused on is building momentum by having my first generation of coaches, by teaching, training, and developing these individuals so that they can become top leaders. I always felt that if you bring somebody in and all you do is just sign them up and then get them to just to start the business without having the principles or the fundamentals of growing a business, chances are they're not going to know what to do. So how do you go about that? And one of the things is what I wanted to develop, it was an environment for people to be able to join along together and create that momentum together as a team. By the show of hands, how many of you came into this business for the financial security? Raise your hand. Don't be shy. Raise your hand. Perfect. Because that's why I came in this. I was sick and tired of my job. I wanted to find something else because I needed to make extra income because I was tired of working paycheck to paycheck. I was in education for 19 years, and I knew that my kids were going to go to college. I had to figure out a way to pay for their education. So I was looking for something so that I can supplement my income. And many of you are probably in the same situation. You're trying to supplement your income. Could it be a car note? Could it be a house note? But you have to have those little victories so that people can say, hey, you know what, that works. And how do you do that? You have to find that success partner. And when I mean success partner, I don't mean going on internet and finding somebody who's not financially connected to you. And what I mean by that is somebody in your organization. If they're not financially connected to you, then yes, they can help you with some ideas, but here you could get together and you can grow volume together. And that's the ultimate thing that I want to really talk about. I know Keyshawn was talking a little bit about getting to diamond. What does getting to diamond mean? It means you getting 8 personally sponsored people and 2 of them get to emerald. That's our top of the line position within the Beachbody community. But do you want to get there and have a whole bunch of volume? Do you want to get to become a diamond making, $250 a week, or do you want to get to diamond making $2,000 a week? And that's the big fluctuation of where you want to be. So, and what I did is I created the environment of duplication. Right now, everybody's doing challenge groups. I did what they call home parties, very similar. Challenge group, home party, because you could do the same thing. And I found very good success by getting a lot of people together, because what they want to do is they want to know, are you going in the right direction? And each and every one of you have to be a leader when you're doing these home parties or when you're doing these challenge groups, because people are looking at you as the expert. So what does all this stuff mean when I'm trying to put this together? Is what I did was I evaluated myself daily. What activities did I do every single day to grow my organization? And secondly, at the end of the week, I celebrated those accomplishments. So when I got involved April 5th, within literally 2 weeks, or no, literally 5 days, I was a 2-star diamond. My goal was to get to 2,000 coaches within 6 months. I achieved that, not by myself, but by creating that team of environment of people doing it together, one coach at a time. Now, you're going to have some people that come in and they can sign up 3 coaches a month, 5 coaches a month. But what I wanted to do was focus on those little activities, have those weekly celebrations that somebody achieves emerald right away so that they can move their business forward. I know I'm covering a lot of information. If you're jotting these notes down, and you can always private message me and ask me, and then I can respond to that. So again, you cannot have success if you do not have a destination in hand. And what I mean by that is you have to have your weekly goals, your monthly goals, and your yearly goals. You also have to have your individual goals as far as rank advancement, your income, and recognition. I've seen many of you at Summit this year. Did you walk across stage? And if you didn't walk across stage, are you going to be there next year walking across stage? Because that's the only way you're going to be able to walk across stage if you rank advance, if you're creating a team, if you're creating that environment. And again, it doesn't have to be something that's crazy. We always talk about being here a year from now. What does that mean to you? Every single one of you, if you did and you built like the power of one, then that's how I build it. I'll touch on it a little bit. But if you focus on signing one coach a month, and that's just within you and somebody else, every single month you sign up one person and help that person train, develop, mentor. And if you're modeling the right activities, they're going to do the same thing that you're doing. And if you do that, people say, well, what does that mean? Well, that means you have about 4,000 coaches in your organization in 1 year doing those simple activities. Now, some people say, well, that's if you do it perfectly. Well, I think if you give somebody the expectation of just bringing in one coach a month, they can do that, especially if you're teaching them and they have the confidence and the attitude to go out there and connect with people. So that's the goal of trying to connect with people and giving them so that they can start getting that momentum. Secondly, what are you leading with when you talk to people? Are you leading with the health or are you leading with wealth? I found it very, I had success with leading with both at the same time. I talked about the wealth and I talked about the health. Because a lot of times when you talk to people and you're just talking about health, a lot of times they don't have the time and the energy to put their focus on that because they're working 40, 50 hours a week. So what you want to do is you're offering them a solution of wealth, and they're going to focus on their health at the same time because you're showing them a path on how to get their Shakeology paid for, how they can make extra income so that they don't have to work that part-time job, so that they can focus on their fitness, so they can drink Shakeology, so they can work out to our programs, or they could bring other people, and all that creates that momentum. And remember I talked about that first generation of coaches. If you focus on signing that first generation of coaches, you become a diamond automatically because you're helping people duplicate, because you'll have an army of emeralds. And if you have an army of emeralds, some of them are going to duplicate to get to diamond. If you sign an army of emeralds, and if you think about it, if that person can only sign up 2 people, but he helps and duplicates that on both legs, he'll make $250 a week. That's $1,000 a month. Think about that. Can somebody who's making $12,000 or every single month making $1,000 a month, and I know it's a little bit more because there's 52 weeks, that'll change somebody's life. That's a car note. That's a house note. That's something that they can really focus on. So think about that. If you just have an army of people just doing emerald after emerald after emerald, that's $250 a week. So what's the next step? You want to get to Ruby, right? If that person is capping at 250, he's going to be very excited to get to Ruby because he knows if he has that volume coming in, he's going to get to Ruby because that person or she can make more money. So therefore, they're going to automatically start to enroll more people because they're going to be losing out on money. So what does all that look like? And how are you going to go out there and talk to people? And what does that entail? I talk about high tech, high touch. What does that mean? High touch means you're talking to people. You bring somebody in. You're giving them that personalized touch. High tech means are you sending out? Are you on Facebook? Are you doing email campaigns? Or are you doing Facebook ads? What are you doing to capture people's attention so they can come to you? Because number one is when you bring somebody in, they're looking at you as their leader. And if you're not doing those activities, then they don't know what to do. So that's very important because you as the leader, you have to do help them with presentations. You have to do one-on-ones. And then also there's other ways that you can send out information by creating some funnels or doing a video on Facebook and sending people to a challenge group. Any of those activities gets you new people. But again, it's how do you convert them to a coach? Because if you just bring them in through a challenge group and you never talk about the opportunity, it's going to be difficult to switch that mindset to say, okay, hey, now let's do the business side. That's why I tried to focus on both. So when you bring them into a challenge group, they know the expectation is when they start having the success that they're going to be able to talk about the business opportunity, and it's going to be so much easier to talk about that. So that's one thing that you really definitely want to focus on. We talk about massive success, and how does that happen? Again, your leaders that you bring in, your first generation of leaders, have to connect with you every single day, every single week. Do a phone call, do a team call, see what their numbers look like. Do they got somebody that they want to talk to? Because this business has to be that simple. If you bring somebody in and they're confused, they're not gonna know what to do. They're gonna want to know, can I do that? Do I have time to do that? Or do I want to share that with my friends and family to do that? If you don't know what you're talking about, then you're not going to be able to get your family, friends, or anybody involved, because if you make it very difficult for them to understand, then they're not going to do it either. So when I talk about you modeling, what you're doing is you're showing people, it's like a teacher. And this is where I got the concepts. When you model to somebody, they watch you, they learn from you, and they're going to want to know, can they do that? Then you start to teach them. When you teach them, they're going to be able to acquire the knowledge that you're teaching them. So then now they're going to be able to teach the same thing that they have learned. It's very simple. It's like going back to school. You model, and then because they're going to want to know how to do this, right? And then now they're going to be able to teach it. Now they're going to be able to go into the activity when you're doing the three-way calls, or you're doing events, or when they're doing a challenge group. So that is very important when you're building your environment or your tribe, so that you can move forward. I see a lot of people, what they do is they complicate this business, and it's just too much information, and people don't know what to do. They get stuck. How many of you, by a show of hands, do you feel that you're stuck? Be honest if you're stuck. Okay, so great. That's why you're on this call. When you're honest with yourself, then you understand, what am I doing wrong? Who can I learn from? Who can teach me something that that might resonate with me. Because there's all kinds of success stories out there in Beachbody. People do it online. People do it through Facebook ads. People do it through challenge groups. People do it one-on-one. I'm a people person. I'd rather talk to somebody face-to-face and get them to at least be interested in what I'm doing. And then I can always catch up and later talk to them. So the things that I always focus on is keeping it simple, selling the opportunity, and then doing the training. Because then it's always a cycle and people can say, you know what, I can do that. So that's how easy this business is. So again, the core principles that I always, when I bring somebody in, I talk to them about, be here a year from now. And what does that mean? Are you going to be an emerald? Are you going to be a ruby? Are you going to be a diamond? Or are you going to be capping? Are you going to be making $250? Are you going to be making $500 a week, $1,000 a week? So those are things that you want to look at. Your personal development is very important. You know, we talk about, you know, just commit 10 minutes a day reading a book or one book that I highly recommend. I tell all my coaches to get this book. It's called Peaks and Valleys. It's a very simple read, easy. It's called Peaks and Valleys. It talks about life. Everybody goes through this. It could be through business, Beachbody, whatever. It's you go through peaks and valleys in your life. Something happens that's amazing. You're at a peak. You're looking out. Everything is perfect. And something happens bad. You hit down that valley, and you don't know if you're ever going to come up. Well, when you start having experience and you start having the knowledge, your peaks and valleys are at a different position when you talk about this. Because if you start your Beachbody business and your peak is this high and your valley goes down, and the next time you come up and your peak is this high, every time you hit a peak, it's higher than the time you were before. It's the same thing in network marketing. It's the same thing. You're going to go through peaks and valleys. You're going to have people come to you. They're going to quit. You're going to have people that say no to you. 70 to 80% of people are going to say no to you. That's okay. You don't have to worry about that. You're looking for the 20 to 30% that are going to say yes. Those are the people that you want to spend time with, that are going to do the challenge groups with you, that are going to buy Shakeology, that are going to go out there and talk to people, that are going to do the things that you're going to tell them to do. If you focus on the 80% that don't do anything, that tell you you're crazy for doing this, you're going to get beat down every single week. Eventually, it brings you down, and you're like, man, am I really doing the right things? Also, the next one is do 2 exposures a day. You can talk to anybody. If you know, at work, on the way to work, at a gas station, at the bank, and that's when you have your you have your shirts, your hats, your Beachbody logo. People say, hey, what's that? What's Shakeology? That gets you into the conversation. You could do that every single day and do 2 exposures. And you're just laying the foundation. You don't have to try to close them right there. Hey, you know what? Why don't you become a Beachbody coach? No, you get to know who they are, what they do. Because remember, what you're doing is you're interviewing them when you're talking to them. If somebody you're talking to and they're grumpy and they don't want to talk to you, you know what? They don't belong in your business anyway. But if you talk to somebody, they're outgoing and they're going to talk to you and you feel very good about them, you know what? You're going to ask them for information. Hey, do you mind giving me your email address? Because I'd like to send you some information, because I think you would be really good at what I do. Because right now we're expanding in this area. I need Beachbody coaches to help me grow my business, and I can help you grow your business. I mean, it's that simple. That person's going to say yes or no. If they say no, hey, you know what? Thank you. You know what? If you liked what I just talked to you about, and this might not be with you, how about you giving me some referrals? Do you know somebody who might want to lose weight, get healthier, and maybe make some extra money? And if you treated them good with respect, chances are they're going to give you their information. Hey, and then say, hey, do you mind if I call them and give them your name? That's how you get that third party, you know, that they're going to trust you, and they're going to take that phone a day, weekly business briefings. You talk about people. You talk about you know, how engaged are they in the business, and then and if you're not using the Beachbody videos, you can send those videos out. Those videos can help you build your business without you having to throw up on somebody. I've been around people who just, they want to do the presentation in 2 minutes and throw up on people, and they don't, that person wants to run away from them. So again, know what you're trying to accomplish when you're trying to build this business. I have tons and tons of information I'm trying to go through this as fast as possible, because I feel these are the highlights of what's important for you to grow your business. And then one thing that I always try to do is I've signed up people and they always tell me that they're going to be my next 15-star diamond coach, that they're going to blow this business up. And I talk about signing up dreamers or doers. I want to sign up doers. A dreamer hopes this is going to work. I want a doer. A doer is going to say, you know what, let's get going, let's do this. Dreamers won't take a leadership role. They tell you everything about dreams and all this other stuff. I want somebody who's going to be a leader, who's going to grow this thing. I don't want to motivate people. I want motivated people. That's what you're looking for, and that's why you're asking those questions when you're interviewing and when you want them to be part of your organization. Doers know how to work. They know how to time. They know how to focus on their time. They know how to do the right money-making activities. They know how to help people. Dreamers, they're not problem solvers. Doers are problem solvers. Doers overcome obstacles. They're gonna be right there in the trenches with you. You want those people because they're people oriented. They're results oriented. They're gonna want to do this business. Over the course of my lifetime, I've helped create over 52 diamonds. I have 6 people that have hit the Millionaire Club within my organization. This all started by me talking to 2 people and signing them up. It's really that simple. If you focus on signing up 1,000 people, you can't lead 1,000 people until you lead 1. That 1 will get you to those 1,000 people. Don't focus on the money. Focus on helping people, and the money will come. That's the biggest advice I would give to anybody, because a lot of times people come in for the wrong reasons. Yes, we want to make money. Absolutely. Yes, we want to focus on making money and doing the right activities to make money, but it has to be ultimately to helping people. And if you're not bringing in people, that means your presentation is not correct. It means you're not learning from your mistakes. Every time I talk to people, I look at their body language. I know if they're listening to me or they're just blowing smoke. So again, as you start having those 70, 80% people tell you no, every time they tell you no, you know what? Perfect. Chalk them up. So, and then until you get to your yeses, because those yeses are going to get you to where you want to be. So I'm going to leave it at that. And what I want to do is answer questions of people, because I could go on and on and on. And it's like being in a university. After a while, you start tuning it out because there's just too much information. So Keyshawn, if you can mute people if anybody wants to ask questions, that way I can answer questions, and I think that they'll get a lot more out of it rather than just me just going on and on and on. Keyshawn?
I have a question, Pete. Hi.
Yes. Hello.
How are you? Thanks. This has been such great gems. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I just have a general question because I've heard this a lot. How do you feel that the marketing of this opportunity has changed at all because of social media, or just kind of the methods about going about it? Because I know I've been talking to some people and they kind of feel like it's shifted a little. Can you speak to that?
No, absolutely. I think with social media and marketing, there's people that are very good at that, have been able to capitalize on it, which is amazing. If they got that skill set, that's good. But ultimately, this business, network marketing, network marketing is a people business. So if you want to go out there, there's a lot of people that can train you, and it's going to cost you big money to do it. Or you could go out there and do those 2 exposures like I talked about. You can go out there and talk to, your next door neighbor, somebody you haven't talked to, or most people. Here's what I find is anybody you talk to, they might say no to you with the opportunity, but they have 2 or 3 of our programs at their house. So when they start doing the exercise or they're watching an infomercial, they're like, man, is that? And my next door neighbor just talked to me about that. Then they'll come back and say, hey, is this part of your company? That opens up that conversation. You know what? That's duplicatable. That's a part of the duplication process that I'm talking about without it costing you a lot of money. Yes, you could go out there and spend a ton of money and do social media and get people, but that's not duplicatable. People are living paycheck to paycheck. They want a solution. And what's the easiest duplication that's out there is you opening your mouth and being nice to people. There's a lot of people out there that are hurting. They need extra income. We got to show them the solution, because if you bring somebody in and they're paying for Shakeology and they do it for 2 or 3 months, and they get the results, chances are if they're on a limited budget, they're probably going to go away. But if you could teach them, get into their warm market and have them make some money that pays for their Shakeology, the likelihood of them canceling, those percentages have gone way down. So focus on, like I said, focus on helping people to find a solution so they could drink our Shakeology where it costs them nothing. Now they're more likely to go out there and spread the word, because if they're making extra income, and again, you focus on those little accomplishments every single week that lead to major accomplishments by you building this. Network marketing is not a get-rich scheme. It's not. If you have a big network of people, you're going to have more success. But if you have a small network, you're going to have to work with this. And that's why when I started this, I talked to everybody. It didn't matter. I even talk to people now, and the people that joined me are happy. The people that didn't join me, it was the worst decision they ever made. And here's another thing I'll tell you about a presentation. There's all kinds of fancy stuff that you could do out there and do presentations, but here's the 4 things that I concentrated on when I did my presentations. And this is all duplicatable. Number 1, I talked about my story. I talked about my life. I talked about me being in education, how, and it has to be quick. It doesn't have to be 2-3 minutes. How I lost weight with P90, how I wanted to change my life, how I was sick and tired of my job. I was working too many hours, barely making it. So I talked about that. The second thing I talked about Beachbody. I talked about what we're doing, why we're number 1 at what we do when it comes to fitness and nutrition, why we have the best trainers, why we have the best shakes. I talked about that. Those are 2 things. But remember, put this in your own words. Then I talk about the industry. I talk about network marketing. I talk about all those successful companies out there that are making millions of dollars. They've been around for 50 years. And I tell people, and I don't want to mention some of those companies' names, excuse me, but I tell them, I said, how many, if you knew that this was an opportunity presentation for one of these companies, would you join me in a presentation? 100% of them did not put their hands up, because those companies have been around for 50 years. But then I said, what if this was 50 years ago, and you know now, and you had an opportunity to join 50 years ago, would you join? Everybody's hand went up 100%. This is where you're at with Beachbody. We're just opening up another country. We're just barely scratching the surface in the United States and in Canada and we're going to be in Great Britain. So in the UK, excuse me. So again, where do you want to be? I mean, the opportunity is tremendous. It's there for you for the taking. So if you just get there and focus and talk about that, embrace it. And then finally, I said something that was so cheesy, but it worked at the end of my presentation. How many of you ever saw Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Remember that movie back in the day? The golden ticket? I always said this. I said, listen, I just gave you the golden ticket, and this is going to change your life for the rest of your life. You can join me, and if you don't join me, don't call me 5 years from now when I'm making a lot of money and I've helped a lot of people, and you lost that opportunity. Because in life, you get very rare opportunities to start something and and make it work and be tremendous and make a lot of money. And when I said that, a lot of people started thinking subconsciously, wow, this could be something I miss out on if I don't do it. So we would do these home parties, and if I had 10 people there, 8 would sign up. I mean, it was automatic. It was boom, boom, boom. And I would do 3 a day. I did one at 10, 12, and 2. I would travel around Las Vegas, different home parties, and that's how we built this thing out, just like that. And all I did was those 4 things: my story, the company, the industry, and the golden ticket principle. That's all I did. It was really that simple. But I talked with passion, I talked with conviction, and I talked with confidence that people said, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. And I researched the industry. So if you have not researched the industry and see what other people are doing and getting your vocabulary, your technology, your terminology in order, then you're not really taking this business serious, because this is a business. This is about you growing this business and finding financial freedom. So why not study the industry? Look at what other people are doing and look at what they're saying and how they're saying it. Not over promising and under delivering and making sure you're in compliance. But again, find out what other people are doing and use some of their vocabulary so that you can do the same thing. And then you tweak it to fit yourself. Don't try to be somebody, be yourself. And I tell you that works. That was a long-winded answer, but that was a great question.
That was great. Thanks, Pete.
Any other questions?
I think we've done them all. Go ahead.
I don't know if she can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hi, I'm Stacy. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. My question is, when I have a new coach and I'm asking them about their list of their warm market, do you find that the new coaches are intimidated by having to write a list of 50 or write a list of 100 people? Is that too big of a piece of pie for them to take on?
Here's how I tackle that. And that's a great question. So Stacey, if you opened up a restaurant, would you tell everybody to come visit your and take and come try your food?
I don't know. Maybe not everybody I knew.
Well, I mean, I would, right? Because it's a business, right? And,
yeah.
and that's the analogy that I use. If I open up a restaurant, I'm going to tell everybody, hey, man, come try my food. Let me know what you think. You know, your opinion it speaks highly of what, you know, maybe I want to make adjustments in the way I talk or the way I present how to get people to my restaurant. It's the same thing here. What you want to do is when you want to get to people's warm market, you want them to say, and this is part of one of my training, one of my videos, when you come in, the first thing you do is, okay, you're open for business. What's the first thing you do? You go to your warm market and you go to them and you say, hey, I just started this business. You know what? I don't want you to join, but this is what I want you to do. I want you to try my product for 30 days. And if you don't like that product, please send it back because it's 100% refundable. But if you do like it, would you be open to me sharing what I do? Because I know you're going to get results. I know you're going to help people. Would you mind sharing that with other people? Chances are, if you approach it like that, they're going to go out there and say, you know what? Yeah, I'll try it. Especially if they know it's a no cost to them, it's guaranteed. And if they don't like it and they don't get results, they send it back and they get their money back. You know, Carl Deichler's really been good at that, right? You got that 30-day money back guarantee. So they got nothing to lose. So why not try this product, kick it around, you get results, see how you feel, but promise me, would you listen to a presentation that I have after the 30 days? But I wouldn't wait 30 days. You know, I would call them after, you know, once they get their product, you know, day 3, day 4, day 5, I'll call them and say, hey, how do you feel? Okay, are you feeling really good about it? Chances are they're feeling really good. They're going to open up that warm market a lot faster than you just trying to write everything down for them. It's all in the way you verbalize and all in how you bring somebody in. Remember what I said, the way you bring somebody in is the way they're going to bring somebody in. If you tell them, hey, give me your 100 best friends and your 100 everything, you know what? And then let's start calling them. They're going to, if they're introverted and they're shy and they're not even ready to do that, you're going to lose them right off the bat. But hey, Stacey, you know what? You just joined. I just joined this great company. This product is amazing. Would you love to try that product for 30 days risk free, and just give me your feedback? I would love to hear it. That is not confrontational. That is something that's not over pressure. They're going to say, you know what? Absolutely, I'll try it, and then give me your feedback, and then you drip on them. Week 1, week 2, so that before that 30 days, they're going to have the results. They're going to be ready to do this business. Because now you can operate in both. You can put them in a challenge group, or you can talk about the business opportunity. Why? Because you opened it up by saying, would you try my product, right? So now, if you just brought them in through a challenge group, now you're talking about the opportunity. There's going to be that disconnect. You know what I mean? So now you could do it both ways and say, hey, would you try my product for the next 30 days? And also, I want to put you in a challenge group so that we could track your results and you can see like-minded people who are losing weight together. And then, oh, by the way, within that 30-day span, would you mind listening to a presentation that I have? You could do it like that, and then it just works together.
Thank you.
Anyone else with questions? Pete, you're giving us such amazing gems right now. Like, I have already 2 pages of notes. Anyone else?
Here's one thing I always tell somebody. Right now, you're working 40 hours a week. Are you building your dreams, or are you building somebody else's dreams? I'd rather build my dreams. And the reason why I say it like that is because if you're working 9 to 5, working for a company, that person who's the owner of that company, you're building their dreams, and you're not building yours. So you have the opportunity here with Beachbody to build your dreams. This is a $1 billion company. It ain't going nowhere. So why not attach yourself to it and align yourself with the company that's growing, and you could grow your income, and this is generational that can change people's lives. I get a kick out of, when other companies spring up and they say, oh, you know what, we're doing this, we're doing that. Well, when you get to $1 billion like Beachbody, then you come talk to me, because chances are you're going to be gone within 2 or 3 years. It always happens. That's why you stick to your guns. You do the power of 1. You do the challenge groups. You do your, power of 3 if you want to hit Success Club, whatever. In this arena, it's up to you, part-time, full-time. You build it the way you want, but focus on building volume by doing those simple activities that you're bringing people in and duplicating that process over and over and over. And it really is that simple.
I have a question, and I'm just asking general questions that I hear people talking about. What do you say when people say that the market is saturated with all these different companies out there?
Okay, and this is another question that I get a lot too. And I say, okay, every year somebody turns 18, right? They said, yeah, you could do this business when you were 17, 16, 15. There's always a new generation of people that turn 18 and then they can start doing this business. Network marketing is, I think it's a $42 billion industry worldwide. One of my training videos, I think it's 75,000 people a week join network marketing through all the companies. There's consumers all over the world. No company will ever get saturated. I'm going to use Amway for an example. Amway has over 6 million reps. They've been around for over 50 years. If that goes to prove that it doesn't get saturated. So again, and the thing about it is our company keeps stuff fresh. We get new exercise programs. We got new products that come out. We haven't even scratched the surface. We're only in 3 countries or 2 countries right now, going into that 3rd country. So saturation, that'll never happen, especially now, because you got baby boomers who are retiring. They need to supplement their income, to pay for their insurances, or they have other things that are going on. They want to travel. You got brand new kids coming out of college. You know what? If they can't find a job, they're looking for a solution. So it's always a constant new of people that are of age that are entrepreneurs that want to, that are going to do this. Now, here's another thing. Remember that 70, 80% we talk about? A lot of times people, when they get fired, they start looking for solutions. So that person that said no to you and they see your success, the only way to kill those naysayers is through success. The more success you have, they see you and they say, hey, how's that Beachbody thing going? When you talked to them 2 years ago, man, it's great. You know what? I'm making money. I'm helping other people. Because what they're looking at, they're willing to say, oh, yeah, I told you that wasn't going to work. So again, focus on your success. That brings people to you and they navigate to you. I'll give you a quick story with my wife. When we were at separate schools and we were growing this thing, and she talked to a lot of the staff there at that school. Everybody thought she was crazy. So at that time, I ended up buying an S550, and I put rims on it. And she pulled up in that parking lot. Everybody at that school signed up. And again, you kill them with success. People want to have success in life, and they're looking for a leader. If every single one of you do the same thing, doesn't mean to go buy cars or whatever. I just use it as an example because we put in the hard work. We had so many people tell us no, but we didn't care. Beachbody will deliver. If you deliver, they're going to deliver. You just have to focus. You got to have that mindset, and it's got to shift. One of you on this call is going to take this seriously. One of you might say, Pete, he got in early. I guarantee you right now, if I started Beachbody right now, I would blow out my numbers even more because I didn't have upfront money. I did not have Shakeology. I did not have these tools. I did not have the success stories. I had to create it all by myself. So if I had all the help that you guys have now, it's a no-brainer. I know I would exceed it far more the numbers than I did in the past. So rest assured, if for those of you that are brand new that really think you can do this, it's about you focusing. It's about having that mindset and having that goal in mind. What's it going to be? Is it an emerald? Is it a diamond? What are you going to be making? Are you duplicating? Are you bringing people in? Is everybody doing the same activities? If you got people doing all different stuff and they're following different people and there's confusion everywhere and you're doing calls and everybody's saying something different, that causes confusion and that does not cause duplication.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Who's that?
Hey, how you doing, Pete? How you doing? It's George over here.
Hey, George.
Yeah. I got my buddy here, Neil. He wants to ask you a question.
Okay.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I have family in the UK, and I tried a product called Shakeology, and I really like it. And I want to know how can I actually introduce him about the product and everything else that's in the store.
Are you talking about right now introducing the product to him?
Yeah, because he's overseas, and I know that we are going to launch over in the UK real soon.
Right.
So,
Well, there's policies and procedures that you have to follow, and I know before we open up a country, you cannot shift products or anything like that. I would check with compliance to see, but you can't send product to a different country, especially if we're trying to open it, because there's a lot of things that can happen as far as compliance issues. So what I would do is talk to your upline, or also get with compliance to see what you can and cannot do. But I know for a fact you just can't ship product over there because there's things, and Keyshawn could probably help with that.
awesome, thanks. That's all. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
But I would do an interest list. Start getting people interested in once we open. Say, hey, once we open, you can start everything that I talk about tonight. You can do the same thing and get them to start generating an interest list. When people start drinking the Shakeology, then all the principles that I taught today, they can apply those in the UK.
Awesome. Thank you.
Pete, I have another question. Sorry, I have so many. How do you feel about three-way calls and helping your coaches with that? Do you believe in them? No, yes.
I think that three-way calls is a must. I really do. I think, especially, but again, a three-way call has to be someone who is knowledgeable about the company, the product, the industry, because you have to be able to answer every objection that person has. And that takes a little bit of skill. That's why I don't want brand new coaches talking to people. You do the introduction, maybe you send a video, but then I want to be on that three-way call so I can help close that deal, because that person might be your next 15-star diamond. It could be your next superstar. It could be your next, heavy hitter. So you want to be able to have that person doing a three-way call with you, knowing what they're doing. And that's where you practice. You practice with each other. If somebody that's a veteran that's on there, I mean, they're going to be able to do the call. But if you're like a brand new emerald and you're doing three-way calls, become knowledgeable about it. Talk to them. One thing that I always did is I would record three-way calls so that I can see if I made any mistakes or how I interjected with people and how I talked to them. Because then I wouldn't publish them or anything like that, but I would want to know, objections, so that, man, I could have answered that better. Because the better you are, the better you're going to be able to close people.
Cool, thank you. Anyone else? I'm getting all the good nuggets tonight. Take one last question. I don't want to keep you too late, Pete. Anyone else?
I have a question.
Oh.
I wanted to ask you more about your house parties. I have a lot of coaches who are not really social media savvy, but they're kind of good on the one-to-ones. I'd like to know your opinion on whether or not you think that would still be effective today, like having those diamond parties at home, or having coaches who aren't comfortable on social media, but more belly to belly, having people gather in home. Yeah,
remember I talked about studying the industry? There's a lot of companies out there that don't do social media, that they grow it just like that. Home parties, they do, and some, they don't call them home parties. They call them, they do. There's some people who do they rent these big houses and they invite people over and they do presentations like that. And there's different ways to do home parties. I feel, and I love home parties because that way a brand new person can, instead of him going out there and talking to people, he can invite his warm market to that. It's like you're doing a three-way call for 10 people, 8 people, because you have the person who's leading the home party, doing the presentation, talking about objections, sampling Shakeology, talking about the obesity that's going on in the United States, how we're the solution. So if you give people all that information at a home party, they're more likely to jump on board right away than walk away, especially if you start doing a sense of urgency. Because remember, this is a binary, right? So the way you structure a binary is you start putting people in the places. So you start saying, hey, the first 10 people that signed up, whoever puts their name in here, I'm going to sign you up accordingly. Remember about the golden ticket rule I talked about? When there's a sense of urgency, people are more likely to jump on board and become part of the genealogy. So therefore, you want to do that. Another thing, when you have different house parties going around, so let's say, for example, I signed up Jackie, and Jackie invited all her friends, and we did a house party there. Remember, I'm in their warm market. Now I schedule whoever Jackie signed up. If she had 3 or 4 people, I schedule a home party at their houses. And then after the second home party, Jackie knows how to do the home party. So now she's doing her own home party. And then Erica, who signed up and does a home party at her house, I do one there. I show her how to do it. Now she's doing it. So ultimately, if you do these once a week and everybody's doing them, eventually, if you have an organization doing that, you might have 10 home parties going on in one weekend, and you're duplicating really fast. You're superseding the power of one, and that's all duplicatable. And how much does that cost? Nothing. It's a simple way to duplicate. All you're doing is sampling out Shakeology, and you're growing the business. And then, oh, here's one thing that I wanted to talk about. If you want to create real momentum, and let's say, Erica, I'm about ready to sign you up, and I call Jackie and say, Jackie, check this out. I just met this girl. Her name is Erica Nicole, man. She's gonna be bomb. That girl's gonna bring in 10 people, right? And Jackie goes, really? I said, yeah, but you know what? If I put her underneath you, you got to give her some love, because that's the power leg, right? If I put her under, you got to promise me you're going to go out there and put somebody under Erica, so she knows that I am talking the real deal here, that we're going to help her grow her business. And Jackie's going to say, well, I can do that. And then I say, Jackie, but if you can't do that, then I'm going to call Yolanda, and I'm going to tell her I'm going to put her under Yolanda, because Yolanda's going to put somebody underneath her. So now you got that competition, and well, I'm ready to go. So now Jackie gets excited because Jackie's going to do the same thing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to call above Jackie, that person, and that person above Jackie, and everybody. So I'm going to call 6 or 7 coaches, say, hey, if I put Erica underneath you guys, because she's going to be my next diamond, but all of you guys got to match her and put one person underneath her. What's the likelihood of that causing momentum? That's how easy this business is. You got to create momentum by you sharing strategies that people, because if somebody says, man, I got 10 people put under my leg this week, man, I got to get to work. I got to do something. And some people are going to do it. Some people aren't. But remember, you get paid on all that volume. So what you're doing is you're creating that excitement. You're creating that momentum. You're creating those activities that causes people to duplicate. And that's so easy to do. All you're doing is calling people and saying, hey, I'm going to put some super – and Erica might not do anything. But everybody went into the activities to put people underneath her. Now that's going to force Erica to start building and doing the same thing, because she has to be emerald. So she has to capitalize on the comp plan. So she has to put somebody on the left leg and somebody underneath all those 10 people that just came underneath her. What does that do? Again, it creates that long chain, and people start getting excited about, man, I'm part of this power leg, and you just created it all on your own. So everybody that's on this call, if you have people that are financially connected to you, you can do that going forward right now and start doing those strategies and say, hey, let's start focusing on volume, especially this month. You know, like Keyshawn talked about, you know what? This is the time. This is the month. You're going to make some money, make big money. Do those simple activities, and I guarantee you'll start making, you'll start going into momentum, and you'll start creating a lot of volume.
That's awesome. Well, Pete, thank you so much. I mean, I can't even explain how many good tidbits, and I'm an old coach, and you really helped me kind of bring my behaviors back, because I feel like for those of us that have been around a little bit, we get stuck in some of those behaviors. So this has been really beneficial for me. So thank you so much. And you guys, everybody that's on here, thank you so much. Make sure to give Pete some love for sharing all these tidbits tonight. And last housekeeping is that we have our sneak peek that's coming up with our group on August 10th. And so we have some speakers that are going to be helping with that. But this is our great opportunity for us to promote this within our community. And I know, Pete, you're definitely behind our mission for that as well. So thank you so much. Hopefully we can get you on there. Let me know if you're available. But other than that, we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for jumping on with us tonight.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. Thanks, Keyshawn.
Thank you.